I want to encourage you to fight for that, because I don't want you to wake up at 60 and 70 years old with the same grief, pain, weight, stress, trauma that you had when you were a kid or when you were a teenager or whenever it is that that bad thing happened to you.
Hey, it's Mia. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mia Hemstad. I make content for moms to help us treat our mental health like it matters. Mental health is a huge passion for me as I struggle with anxiety and depression and did experience postpartum depression after the birth of both of my kids. If you like what you see here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So a lot of you don't know this, but I went to an abuse survivor, a sexual, physical, and emotional abuse survivors support group for a while. And it was extremely insightful, inspiring, saddening. It was a very unique experience. If any of you have went to a support group, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what it was like for you. I'm so grateful I went, and there's something super important that I learned that I thought was important for everyone to know and everyone to learn. You don't have to have gone through abuse or some sort of traumatic experience for this to apply to you. I learned a ton, but the number one thing I want to give you today that you really do need to take into your life is, if you don't work on your mental and emotional struggles, if you don't work through issues you face, we all have mommy issues, daddy issues, childhood issues, bully issues. Something happened in your childhood that you carry with you that affects your decisions, the way you think about yourself, the way you look at the world. We've all gone through something on this earth. And if you don't address it, acknowledge it, work through it, get help with it. If you don't work through it now, you will have to work through it later. There's a saying that time heals all wounds, and I think that's complete crap. Time does not heal all wounds. Time does help grief and wounds to feel smaller or more distant or less painful. But if you don't actually do the inner work to heal those wounds, they will always exist, and they will affect how you see the world, how you see yourself, what decisions you make, the things that you do with your life, the things that you don't do, the regrets that you'll have. It will affect you. The reason why I say this is because sitting at this table surrounded by people of all walks of life, from all different levels of traumatic experiences, there was a common theme. I would say about 60 to 70% of the people at that table were over 50, some over 60. And they were living with crippling, like the trauma that they left untreated. And I do not blame them for this, let me be clear. But the trauma that went untreated for decades grew inside of them, took over their bodies in a way that I can't explain, and made them have other mental illnesses like depression and anxiety that I don't want to say is uncontrollable, because everything can be treated, but it affected their ability to live life to the fullest for sure. And I don't want you to go through that. I know, especially as mothers, we feel like we're just so busy in the work of nurturing other lives, of taking care of other people. But if you don't make the time and space, and I know it's hard, believe me, I'm a mom as well, you really have to fight for the time and space. You have to fight to find the money. You have to fight to find the time. But I want to encourage you to do it. I want to encourage you to fight for that, because I don't want you to wake up at 60 and 70 years old with the same grief, pain, weight, stress, trauma that you had when you were a kid or when you were a teenager or whenever it is that that bad thing happened to you, because time will not make it just go away. Ignoring it, suppressing it will not make it go away. It actually might make it worse. And the saddest thing that I saw at that table with all of those people is they wish they worked on it sooner. They wish they acknowledged their pain earlier. They wish they gave themselves the time and the space to work through the stuff that they've been through, because now they feel like most of their lives have gone by and their lives have been dictated by this trauma. Their bodies are at the whim of their trauma. I know this was a little bit of a heavier topic, but this is so important. This is why I do the work I do. This is why I get on here and share my journey with you guys. I'm very honest on here, because I really don't want us to wake up at 65, realize, yeah, we raised good kids, realize, yeah, we have a good marriage, but your life could be so much more full. You could have so much more peace with yourself if you just gave yourself the time and the space. And it doesn't need to be a lot. There was a time when all I could afford and go to, time and money wise, was
1 hour of therapy twice a month. But the therapy that I went to acted as a catalyst for the other inner work I was doing. Therapy prompted me to take care of myself more and practice self-care. It prompted me to learn how to meditate. It prompted me to deepen my prayer life. It prompted me to start journaling. I advocate for therapy, of course, but I tell people that the real work takes place outside of the therapist's office. The real work takes place after you've gotten direction from the therapist or you vented and got everything out at the therapist's office. The real work takes place in your daily life and how you live it. So I have created a journal that kind of compiles the 5 or 6 things that the tools that my therapist gave me over the last 2 years of going to therapy that I implement in my daily life to kind of keep me on track. That isn't to say I don't fall off, but I'll leave a link for you below so that you can check it out. It's very basic. I just created it. I can't wait to already do a second edition, but I didn't want to wait to share it with you by waiting till it's perfect. I genuinely, I know from my experience going to therapy for over 2 years now, how important these tools are when you practice them consistently. So I want to share these with you. I'll leave a link in the description. I hope that, if you have any struggles or reservations or questions, please leave them in the description. Let me have the opportunity to encourage you and try to help you on your way. I know that the mental health journey is not an easy one. Believe me, I know. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And I hope that you will go into this week loving yourself a little bit more, being more forgiving of yourself, and giving yourself more time and space to take good care of yourself. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.